Hello everyone, myself Professor Rekha Kenegi, Department of Civil Engineering, KLS VDIT Haliyar. I welcome you all for the lecture series on Design of RC Structural Elements with the subject code 18CV53. Today let's start with the lecture number 5B of Module 1. Now let's have a glance upon what all we have covered in the previous sessions. In the previous sessions, we had a discussion on stress-strain relation for concrete and steel, the basic terminologies used in RCC for a rectangular section as well as the T section or the flange section, assumptions in the limit state of collapse, what are the different assumptions we have discussed. Along with that, we have also discussed the balanced under reinforced and over reinforced sections. What exactly is balanced section, under reinforced section and over reinforced sections, and where can we use these type of sections, which section is preferable, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of these three types of RC sections. Now in today's session, let's discuss the stress block parameters. By using the strain diagram and the stress diagram, we are going to derive the stress block parameters here using the depth of rectangular cross section diagram. And at the end of this session, the student should be able to explain the stress diagram, strain diagram as well as different types of sections and obtain the stress block parameters for each of the sections, whether it is the rectangular section or the T section. Now let's start with the stress block parameters. What exactly is this stress block parameter and how to find out the stress block parameter? Here we can say that the diagram showing the distribution of compressive stress in concrete across the depth of the neutral axis, that is across XU value, that is depth of neutral axis of the section, is termed as stress block. And since the strain diagram is linear over this depth of XU as well as below the neutral axis also it is linear variation only, strain diagram. Since the strain diagram is linear over the depth of XU, the shape of the stress block will be same as that of strain diagram which we are studying or which we have already discussed regarding to the concrete. So for the concrete, we have already discussed the stress strain block parameter or stress strain diagram. That is, initially it is having a parabolic variation, later on it is having a constant or a linear variation, or the value of the stress remains same, and that stress value we call it as design stress, and that value is being represented here as 0.446 FCK. So we can also see that it has a zero stress at the neutral axis. So why do we call it as a neutral axis? Here the stress or the strain value is 0. It is having neither the tensile stresses nor the compressive stresses. Hence we call it as a neutral axis, and it varies parabolically up to a height of 4/7 of XU, and it has a constant value equal to the design stress, that is 0.446 FCK for a distance of 3/7 of XU, and the shape of the stress block is as shown here. And how do we arrive at this 4/7 of XU and 3/7 of XU? So we have already discussed while discussing the stress strain diagram for the concrete. Initially up to a strain of 0.002, up to a value of strain equal to 0.002, we have the parabolic variation in the stress strain diagram. We have a parabolic variation, and we also know that the maximum strain in concrete is 0.0035. So this is the strain at which we say that the concrete has failed. So this is the value of maximum strain. So if we divide 0.002 by 0.0035, we will be getting the value 4/7. So that 4/7 of XU is being obtained from this value. Now, how do we arrive at 3/7 of XU? If total distance is XU, so if we deduct 4/7 of XU from XU, we'll be getting 3/7 of XU. Or else, if we have a stress strain curve for concrete, we know that it is parabolic variation initially and later on it is a constant, it is having constant stress even though the strain is been increasing. So this variation of parabolic nature, it is up to a value of 0.002 and the maximum value is 0.0035. So let's consider here 0.0035. Now from this point to this point, what is the strain? It is 0.0035 minus 0.002 divided by 0.0035. You will be getting the value 3/7 of XU. So this is how we are arriving at the stress block parameter sketch. So with this background, let's proceed with the derivation. Before that, remember, always the effective depth has to be shown at the center of the tensile reinforcement, and here only we are going to show the tensile force. So in order to find out, already this sketch is been discussed in the previous session also. Now here, in order to find out the stress block parameters, we need to find out the area under the stress block. Area under the stress block. If we need to find out the area under the stress block, that stress block which is having the parabolic variation and the linear variation, let me show you the sketch. Say till this end we have a parabolic variation, above that we have a rectangular section. So let this be rectangular section and let this be the parabolic section. So in order to find out the stress block parameter or the first stress block parameter, what we need to do is we need to calculate the area under this curve. We need to calculate the area under this curve. In order to calculate the area under this curve, we need to divide this entire area into rectangular portion and the parabolic portion. So let's start with the area of stress block. That is, area of the stress block is equal to area of the rectangular portion plus area of the parabolic portion. So what is this area of the rectangular portion? So this area of the rectangular portion is nothing but 0.446 FCK, which is the design stress, which is being written at the top, 0.446 FCK into 3/7 of XU, that is this distance, 3/7 of XU. This distance we are going to use for the rectangular portion. Now for the parabolic portion, area of this parabolic portion is 2/3 of 0.446 FCK and this height, that is 4/7 of XU. So area of this stress block is considered, as well as it is being divided into rectangular portion and the parabolic portion. For the rectangular portion, we are going to consider it as 0.446 FCK into 3/7 of XU, and for the parabolic portion we are going to consider it as 2/3 of 0.446 FCK into 4/7 of XU. Now this will fetch us the value 0.361 FCK into XU. We'll be getting 0.361 FCK into XU. Once we get the value of 0.361 FCK into XU, this can be approximated to 0.36. 0.361 can be approximated to 0.36 and we can write it as 0.36 FCK into XU. We can write it as 0.36 FCK into XU. So the compressive force on the section, C is equal to 0.36 FCK XU into B, where B is the breadth of the rectangular section that we can consider. And this value 0.36 we call it as the first stress block parameter, and it can be denoted as K1. So K1 refers to 0.36 and it is the first stress block parameter what we can use. Now, so we need to find out the second stress block parameter. What exactly is this? And how do we find out this second stress block parameter? Initially, for the first stress block parameter, what did we do? We have calculated the area under the curve or area under the stress block. So this area is already found out now. Now what we need to do is we need to find out the position of the compressive force, that is the resultant of all this force. The position of this compressive force from the topmost fiber we need to calculate. Already we know that what is the value of C, that is 0.36 FCK XU into B. So what is the distance of this compressive force from the topmost compressive fiber? We need to find out. So how shall we find out? So already in your basic civil engineering, that is in the first year, you have already studied how to find out the centroid of a composite section. You have already studied how to find out the centroid of composite section. So in order to find out the centroid here, that is the position where the force exactly acts. So by taking the moment about the extreme compression edge here, what we can write is C into x bar. This distance we can call it as x bar for time being. This is x bar. C into x bar is equal to C1. C1 refers to the area of the rectangular portion. Area of the rectangular portion into x1. So x1 is the centroid of this, the distance of centroid of this rectangular portion from the topmost compressive fiber. And C2 is the area of this parabolic portion. C2 is the area of this parabolic portion, and x2 is the distance of centroid of this parabolic portion from the topmost compressive fiber. From the topmost compressive fiber. So C is total compressive force on the section. X bar is distance of center of gravity from the compressive edge or compression edge. C1 is compressive force corresponding to rectangular portion of the stress, and x1 is distance of centroid of C1 from top fiber, and C2 refers to compressive force corresponding to parabolic portion of stress block, and x2 refers to distance of centroid of C2 from the topmost compressive fiber. So now let's find out the value. Area of this A1 is the area of the rectangular portion, A2 is the area of the parabolic portion. Already while calculating the first stress block parameters, we have used these two values, that is A1 and A2, and C value is being calculated, that is 0.36 FCK B into XU, and now x1. It is the distance of centroid of rectangular portion from the topmost compressive fiber. So if I consider the rectangular portion here, the centroid always lies at the midspan. So from this to this, the distance is half of 3/7 of XU. So that is 3/14 XU. And x2 is the centroid distance of centroid of the parabolic portion from the topmost compressive fiber, this distance. So it is nothing but this value, that is 3/7 of XU plus this distance, that is 3/8 of 4/7 of XU. We will be getting 4.5 divided by 7 XU. Now substituting all these values in the previous equation, that is C into x bar is equal to A1 x1 plus A2 x2. Substituting all these values here, what we will be getting is x bar is equal to 0.417 XU. And this value 0.417 XU can be approximated to 0.42 XU. and this 0.42 is nothing but K2 value, that is second stress block parameter. So K2 can be called as second stress block parameter, and this is been found out by finding the position of the compressive force from the topmost compressive fiber. So by finding out the position of the compressive force from the topmost compressive fiber, we'll be able to get the value of the second stress block parameters. So with this, we shall end up today's session. Thank you.